In this video, I'm going to show you how to add gold foiling to any piece of stationery. Hey everyone, it's Karley Hall and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Karley and I love all things crafts, specifically cutting machine crafts, and today is a Cricut tutorial. So if you love DIY, cutting machines, all things crafting, make sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos because I have a ton of tutorials ready for you to view and learn from. Okay, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add custom gold foiling to your stationery. This is a Christmas card that I did last year, and I'm finally getting around to showing you a tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to add this gold foiling, which typically I will laser print and then use my Mink, but today I'm going to show you a different technique, and we are going to use heat transfer vinyl. So this is heat transfer vinyl, which typically is used for apparel, clothing, things like that, but we are going to apply it to cardstock. It's a little tricky, and I'm going to walk you through all of my tips and tricks so that you can get a perfect transfer without any pressing lines, without any adhesive seepage, all the things that would prevent you from getting a good transfer. So let's hop over to Design Space and set up our image and get cutting. In Design Space, I have my Merry Christmas sentiment already designed, and you can use any font, any image, really anything you want to add to your stationery. You can design within Design Space and then cut it out. To make life a little bit easier, I'm going to add a weeding box around it. So I'm just going to add a square, unlock that, and send it to the back so that it makes weeding a little bit easier. If you don't know what weeding is, don't worry, I'm going to walk you through all that good stuff. So I'm going to align it and then I'm going to attach it. The next thing I'd recommend is to make copies of as many images as you can fit on your cutting mat. So if you're cutting a bunch of these, to conserve material, you can arrange these and fit them into your space to take advantage of your material. So my material is, let me unlock this. It's 12 inches wide, but the max that I can cut on Cricut is 11.5, and then it's 20 inches long. So this is the area that I can fill with my Merry Christmas sentiments. So if I send this to the front and just start making copies, I can see that 3 of them won't fit across unless I rotate them. So I'm going to just rotate them and set them up so that I can cut as many as possible. So let me do that really quick and I'll meet you back here. So I deleted my template and then I have all of these organized, and my whole design is 10.965 by 17.694. I selected everything and I'm going to attach it together. That way when I send this to cut, I can fit 20 on each sheet of my heat transfer vinyl, making it about 20 cents an image, which is pretty good compared to the pricing that you'll see online for gold foiling. So let me show you what that looks like on the next screen. If I click Make It, I'm cutting on a mat 12 by 24, and you can see that they all fit perfectly. Now, just for reference, if I cancel out of that and say you're asking yourself, why wouldn't I just make the project copies on the mat? So we can do that, and I'll show you why I choose not to do that. So I'll click Make It, and now I want to do those same 20 images on a 12 by 24 mat and apply. You can see that it doesn't utilize all of this material over here, and my material is only 12 by 20, so this wouldn't work. Of course, I could rotate these and bring them up over here, which is an option. It's just a little bit more time consuming, and I would have to just finagle it. So it's not the end of the world. You can do that, whatever you prefer to get them all to fit. So that's also an option there. And then before you do anything, make sure to click Mirror. Since I'm only cutting one for this project, I'm going to click 1 and apply. I just wanted to make sure to note that the way that Cricut arranges it on the mat isn't always the best for using all of your material. So just make sure to take the extra moment and rotate them so that they fit and you can use all of your material. Okay, don't forget to turn on your mirror so that we're cutting the reverse, since we will be cutting our material shiny side down. We'll click continue on. I only need a 12 by 12 mat since I am just cutting one today. Click continue. And I'm cutting on my Maker 3, but you can use whatever machine you have. To set our material, I'm going to choose browse all material and search for foil, and then choose foil iron on. It will remind you to make sure that your mirror is turned on and your material is faced shiny side down. You'll place your heat transfer vinyl with the shiny side facing down on your machine cutting mat. This is a sticky cutting mat that holds your material in place while it's running through the machine. So I'm just going to add my scrap piece of vinyl right here, shiny side down. To load it into your machine, you'll place it under the clips and roller, and while still holding against the roller, you'll click this flashing load button. It'll auto measure and do a few things before it's ready to cut. Once it's ready, it'll prompt you to click this flashing go button. After it's done cutting, the Cricut will prompt you to unload it, and now you're ready to weed, which is the process of pulling away the negative or the excess vinyl. I'm using this pin pen. It's my favorite tool to weed with. It's just a little tiny pin at the end of a pen, and you can just hook your excess vinyl and then slowly peel it away. Heat transfer vinyl is a little bit more forgiving than adhesive vinyl when it comes to weeding, because there's a certain flex and stretch to it. So you can be a little bit more aggressive with it, but especially when you're weeding delicate things like thin text, I do tend to go pretty slow. So turn on your favorite show or audiobook and get comfy, and then just weed all of your sentiments. Once you're done getting the majority of the image, you'll come back in and you'll take out the insides of all your letters. You just want to make sure not to hook part of your design. So a bright pad or a bright light is really helpful for this, so that you can actually see where you're pulling away. Once you're done, flip it over to make sure you got all of the insides, and then we'll trim away the excess vinyl. The weeding box comes in handy for this because I can just follow the clear window to make sure that I'm not cutting off my design and wasting any vinyl. Now my design is ready to be pressed onto my Christmas card. You can use a heat press. That's what I'll be using today. You can also use an easy press, or even a household iron will work. Okay, excuse my setup. My heat press is still kind of new and I haven't found a home for it yet, so it's on the floor. But these are my settings. I will be pressing for 20 seconds at 250 degrees. Before I place my transfer onto my card, I did want to talk about the pressure settings. So I have a Teflon sheet. We will use that, but while I'm setting it up, I'm just going to show you how to set the correct pressure. So when I close my clamp down, I'm going to press down my card. I want to be able to pull my card out from my press. If my pressure is too tight, I won't be able to pull out my card, and I don't want it to be too tight. I want it to be just tight enough where I can still remove my card. Let me show you with a piece of cardstock. So if I push this in, let's make it a little bit tighter. I can't pull my paper out. I don't want that. So I'm going to put it up. That's too loose because I can pull it out just way too easily. So I want it to be just about there, where you can place your paper in and slip it out. So let's test it on my card one more time. I can pull it out and it works great. Now that I'm ready to press, I just stuck my design right onto my card. When I did these last year, I did make a jig to position this perfectly, but for just this one, I eyeballed it, and you can measure from side to side if you want it to be perfectly centered. I have a Teflon sheet in my heat press. This is optional, you don't need it, but I just am going to fold it over the top to protect my card from transferring to the heat press or melting, anything like that. So it's just an extra precaution, but definitely not necessary. And then I'm going to close it down and it will press for the 20 seconds at 250 degrees. Here's how my card looks straight out of the heat press. So the liner is still on, and you want that to cool completely before taking off your liner. So even though it may say you can peel while it's warm, I have found that with foils, it is always best to do a cold peel. So let that cool down completely. You don't want to feel any type of warmth in there at all. You can just set it to the side and let it cool and then come back and peel it. It only takes a minute or so until it's ready to be peeled. So now that it's cool, I'm just going to grab an edge of the liner and just kind of peel at an angle. And there you go. You can see that there is a beautiful texture to the foil. It's perfectly smooth and reflective, and there's no indentation at all because the pressure was so light. So there's no liner marks on the edge of the card, and there's no adhesive seeping out of the edge, which is usually the biggest concern with using heat transfer vinyl on paper. But if you kind of hone in on those settings and find what works best for your project, you can get it to where you don't have any of that. So hopefully these settings will set you up for success. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you try this and what you try it on. And if this video was helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you're looking for any of the links to the products that I used in today's video, those will be all in the video description, so you can shop through those links. I think I even have a coupon code for the HTV. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.